I'm working on my Model 60 here. I got a ton of different parts, all different variants. I bought them all. I'm trying to reduce the trigger pull. You can buy a spring kit that replaces these springs, 30 bucks. I'm not really thrilled about spending 30 bucks on 4 springs. But, the Marlin Model 60 trigger setup is, there is nothing desirable about it whatsoever. So I got a bunch of these guts that were chopped up, and they basically cut the rails right through the receiver into the guts, and they caught the lifter, which stinks because you can always use these, and the front half-inch or so of the side rails, maybe an inch, I don't know. I don't have a full side rail handy to compare, but I wanted to strip it down and show what this trigger does assembled, so to be able to see it work. So this is your hammer spring, this is your sear, and this is the arm that pushes the sear. So that will push your sear. So you can see when these things are dirty and nasty, you're gonna have some resistance right there. And not really sure exactly what this little nub contacts, but that's also got some resistance on it. So basically what happens is that rod, let's see if I can get this together right. I really need a tripod. When that ham is cocked, the spring will be back like this and loaded. Right now it's not really loaded. The sear locks right in that little space there. And this thing pushes forward, unlocks the sear. See it right there in the middle? Right at 3 o'clock. See that? Now it keeps popping off, so I can't do it. So, hammer won't fly. If you push that, the hammer flies. And that resets. So you're fighting a few things here. You're fighting the tension of the hammer spring, the tension of the hammer, the sear strut spring, and then the sear spring itself, which is right in there. And then the other spring here is for the lifter. So basically, the best thing you can do without spending any money is polish everything. Polish every contact, every pivot, the best you can inside and out, and lighten up the springs. So I'm going to attempt to just polish every contact point I can. I'm just going to use some polishing compounds, probably right around 600 or 800 grit. I forget now. I bought it years ago from Brownells. It works really good. You just use a little Dremel tool and a buffing pad, or you can just lay it in between some parts and move them like lapping compound. But we'll see what we can do. But I'm curious to see these sear engagements. Definitely different styles. A wide one, 2 thin ones. How interchangeable they are, I'm not sure. But I would definitely think the narrow one is better, if it'll work. And here's the hammer. So you can see there's the little sear lip. It's just not much to work with there. Not with my eyes anyway. Probably have a stone that will fit in there nice, but even with my little magnifier I have, I can't see it, so I'm not going to mess with it too much. I'm just going to polish it. clean everything up. I'm going to pull that pin, clean that pivot. I mean, this one is very stiff. Compared to this one's nice and loose. And like I said, I'm just going to clean anything that's got any signs of wear on it, you know. Trying to find one other pin. I had a hammer pin. I must have put it away already. But I have the pin where the hammer rides. That pin was so crudely machined. I mean, it's just horrible. So I mean, all this just adds to a crappy Marlin 60 trigger. One thing just to be very certain about is the Marlin safety on their guns doesn't prevent this hammer from falling. It just doesn't, because the trigger actually pushes up on this. So if for whatever reason your share engagement doesn't stay positive, this gun can go off at any time, even with the safety on it. So don't get too crazy trying to lighten them if you try to do it yourself. I'm just gonna give it a good clean, a good polish, and see what happens. I'm actually going to try to build a jig out of these two halves so I don't have to keep taking it apart and putting it together on the other gun. But I'm going to figure out a way to test the trigger pull. So, build a little jig, maybe polish up some parts, and I'll do both my triggers. Right now, both my triggers are 6 pounds plus. Horrible. And I might take a coil out of the hammer spring.